Hi, my name is Jay Wood, and this is my project on the magic of the maglev train. When I started this, I knew that I was going to end up doing some sort of project based around transportation. I closely follow transportation news, and I'm always interested in alternative and new types of transportation. And when I saw I'd have a great chance to make a model of one of these maglev trains, I seized it. The concept around maglevs is that there's no moving parts. They hover off the ground by using two sets of magnets in the tracks, one to propel them forward and one to push the train off the ground. This leads to a frictionless environment for the train to interact with, only having to battle with wind resistance. The lack of moving parts, as well as the lack of resistance between the ground and the train, leads to lower maintenance cost, as well as a very speedy and smooth train ride, with the fastest one in service reaching speeds of over 430 kilometers per hour, and certain prototypes surpassing well over 600. However, the implementation cost is much higher, with the line that runs in Shanghai costing an astonishing $60 million per mile of track, whereas with conventional rail, that cost could be $1 to $2 million depending on certain specifications. Next up is the origin of the maglev. While the first lines have only started to be implemented across the world in the last few decades, with the first serious non-prototype design opening in South Korea in 1993, operating at a relatively tame 68 miles per hour, the idea of the maglev has been around since the early 1900s, when German designer Alfred Zeden patented the electronic traction apparatus at the U.S. Patent Office in 1902. This patent outlined some of the same concept design that the current maglev trains operating around the world use today. To tie back into the idea of a maglev for my final project, I decided to build a miniature maglev, or mini-lev. Originally, my plans included propulsion via a fan, as well as a full loop that could be run on its own. However, sadly, this slowly got downgraded feature by feature into a straight 5.5-foot track with a hand-propelled train on top of it. These are quite simple to build, as they normally only required some magnetic tape for rails, side rails to keep the train from flying off the tracks, and the small model train itself, made out of an extra piece of wood from the 6-foot block. For the construction of my bridge, I took a 6-foot plank and chopped off some wood to be preserved for the train. When I finished this, I took my L-shaped corner shields and duct taped them to the sides, as double-sided tape wasn't available. After this, I fitted magnetic tape to the wooden plank. Then, I cut the extra wood down to a more reasonable size. After handling all of this, I put magnetic tape on the bottom of the car. Unfortunately, after finishing this portion, I hadn't realized that I had left one major oversight in my design: the magnetic polarity. I purchased magnetic tape, and it is designed to stick to itself. Thus, it stuck to itself. I completely forgot about this when purchasing it, and only realized it was a problem when I went to stick the train on the tracks. If I had had more time to assemble it before the presentation, I could have assembled an electric field to reverse the polarity, as to make it so that it would hover, rather than attract to itself and be stuck. Overall, if this project taught me one thing, it would be that simple mistakes can lead to big problems down the line, and that paying attention to the little details can add up to big things. As what happened to the final project was a smaller mistake that cost my entire project being able to function as intended. I completely forgot how magnetic polarity works, as I thought that the opposite poles attracted to each other. However, in actuality, they attract to themselves. Here's my works cited page. This is where all of my information came from. And thank you for watching my short on how the maglev train system works. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe learned a thing or two about something you didn't know much about before. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.